ANA is Japan's largest airline and one of the top rated airlines in the world. It is one of my favorite airlines, and my wife and I have taken several ANA flights, both domestic flights within Japan and international flights between Tokyo Haneda Airport and Los Angeles. Our experience has always been great on ANA, from the service to the punctuality of the flights to the very generous legroom, 34 inches in economy on some of their Dreamliners. So when I got an email from ANA talking about a soon to be launched ANA credit card in the United States, of course my interest was piqued. So this is from the email I got. It's going to be a Visa card issued by First National Bank of Omaha, or FMBO. It seems that the card will be called ANA Express the Americas, or maybe that's just a placeholder. Um, but again, it will be a Visa card. I'm not sure why this is a Visa business card. I assume it's a personal card from the email, but who knows? Maybe that's just a mistake or something. But um, ANA Card USA here it says it's got the Star Alliance logo, which is ANA's alliance if you're not familiar. And it looks like it will have an annual fee of $85. Now, as far as the spending on the card, you will earn two times miles or 2 miles per dollar on eligible ANA purchases like airline tickets, and 1 mile per dollar on everything else. So if you're used to American credit cards, you'll know those multipliers are not really great compared to a lot of cards we have here in the States. But as far as foreign or overseas credit cards, it's not really outlandish that they have those low spend categories. It does have no foreign transaction fee on any currency, which is nice. And the welcome bonus for it will be 5,000 bonus miles with your first purchase, which again, if you're used to US credit cards where you can get 100,000 miles sometimes even more, you might not be super overwhelmed by that welcome bonus. I know I'm not. Some of the other features that it's talking about, it's 25% flight bonus miles when flying with ANA. I assume that's a 25% bump to the miles that you would earn from your flight. You get a 10% discount on ANA in flight purchases. And ANA does still have a lot of in flight stuff that you can buy. And so you'd get a 10% discount on that. 10% discount on ANA Group duty free shops. There are some of those in Haneda Airport, probably in other places as well. And ANA Group airport shops, you would get a 5% discount in that. In some of the domestic terminals we've been in, there have been several of those. Um, and then it says that even more benefits await. So, card's not out yet. I didn't see a date as to when it will be coming out, but looks as though they could continue to still add some benefits, which might be good because for now at least, that's kind of all we have with the card. So unfortunately, the ANA credit card just doesn't do much for me, at least yet. It doesn't have good multipliers for spending and doesn't have much in the way of benefits to make it worthwhile. This is true of many, if not most, credit cards for foreign airlines that are available in the US. And ANA's offering follows a pretty lackluster announcement of a Japan Airlines card in recent months. The one thing I do find quite interesting with this card is the 25% bonus miles earned on ANA flights. This is a unique benefit and one I'm not familiar with on any other card, at least not to the point of a 25% bonus. If you flew ANA a lot, I could see this being worthwhile, but I would imagine it would take a lot of flights to really justify the card. The announcement does tease that even more benefits await, so I guess it's possible they'll announce something else to make it worth the $85 annual fee. So, with that said, you may notice there's a lot of video left and may wonder why we just don't end the video here and call it a day. Well, since we're on the subject of ANA miles, let's talk about a few other things. So, I'm going to go over some things to know about ANA miles, such as when they expire, some of the cool things you can do with ANA miles, and some of the limitations, and how I prefer to earn ANA miles. Also, at the end of the video, I'll go over some tweaks they could make to the card that would make it worthwhile, in my opinion, and make it worth considering. I think adding one or more of these changes could be realistic and would make the card much more competitive in the US market. If you enjoy content like this, please take a moment to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate the support. Okay, so some things to know about ANA miles. First, you can transfer American Express membership rewards points to ANA at a 1-to-1 ratio. You can also transfer Marriott Bonvoy points at a ratio of 3 Marriott points for 1 ANA mile. Second, miles generally expire after 36 months. ANA actually has 4 different buckets of miles that can have different expiration dates. But generally speaking, miles you earn from flying or from transferring in from other programs expire in 3 years. This is a hard expiration. You can't extend it by flying or other miles activity like you can with some other programs. This definitely puts a damper on the earning potential of this card, which wasn't great to begin with, considering it gets only 1 point per dollar on everything but ANA flights, where it earns less than a good chunk of the credit cards out there for flights. But let's say you did use the card. You're earning points which immediately start ticking toward expiration as you're earning them. So why not just earn them on an Amex card and transfer them over later? The third thing to know about ANA miles is that you can't book one-way award tickets. You have to book round trip, which is kind of a unique and strange limitation to the award program. You can actually book ANA flights one way through other partners like United, but through ANA itself, you need to book both an outbound and an inbound leg. And while we're on that subject, the taxes and fees on award tickets can be substantial, and they're definitely on the high side. ANA is hardly the only program to charge high taxes and fees, but it's still something to keep in mind. So you may ask yourself, why bother with ANA points at all? Well, the sad thing is that ANA flights are getting harder and harder to book on partner airlines. So ANA points themselves are useful because availability for their own award tickets is often better than what you can find on partners. Some partners, like Air Canada, can no longer book ANA business class seats most of the time, and others, like United, require a lot more points to book an ANA ticket than ANA themselves would charge. Availability isn't what it was a few years ago, and that does make ANA points worth at least keeping an eye on. One more thing I will mention is that ANA is one of the few programs still left that offers a true round the world award ticket through their Star Alliance partnerships. I should warn you, this is not for the faint of heart. These tickets are hard to book, they have a lot of rules, and they have to be done over the phone. But the fact that it's even possible to book a round the world award ticket with ANA, and with a fixed award chart to boot, is pretty cool. If you have any intention of trying to book one of these tickets, prepare yourself for a lot of reading, a ton of research, and a long time on hold trying to connect with ANA representatives. And you'll need backup plans when your Plan A flights aren't always available. Now, I've never actually done this myself, although I've looked into it quite a bit. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave them in the comments below and maybe someone else can answer them for you. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of experience on how to do this. So before I get to what I think could be done to make this ANA credit card better and more interesting, let's talk about how you could earn ANA points much easier than having the ANA credit card. Aside from actually taking ANA flights and earning miles that way, the best way to earn them is simple, through the American Express membership rewards program. The Amex Platinum, for example, earns 5 points per dollar on flights, including ANA flights, versus the 2 points per dollar you would get from using the actual ANA credit card. The Amex Gold earns 4 points per dollar on dining and groceries, and they have other membership rewards cards as well that have different earning categories. Now you can earn these membership rewards points, which don't expire, and transfer them to ANA when you're ready to book, avoiding that 36-month expiration issue and still having the points there when you need them. Okay, so just to wrap this up and bring it back to the actual ANA card at hand, let's talk about what would make the card better. I can think of a few benefits they could add to make the card worthwhile. I think one or more of these would be reasonable to add to the card without giving away too much value. ANA already has a pretty generous baggage allowance, so I don't think that's really something they could add. One thing they could add, however, would be free seat selection. ANA recently launched a basic economy type fare that is kind of a stripped down main cabin, similar to what US airlines do. But before this, I'd just book their regular economy ticket, which would allow seat selection that sometimes came with a fee. I'd usually pay $25 each way for an aisle seat and book my wife for free in the middle seat. If this benefit were included for the card holder, it would save us $50 per round trip to Japan. Another thing they could do would be to add free Wi Fi. I sometimes pay for Wi Fi on my ANA flights, and I think it costs around $20 each way. Incidentally, I don't think it codes as an ANA in flight purchase, which means you probably wouldn't get the 10% off that's offered on the card. Now, this perk isn't a must have for me, but it would be a nice little benefit. Another thing ANA could offer is priority check-in and or boarding for cardholders. ANA's boarding is usually pretty efficient and is done in the order of window, middle, aisle. And because they offer so much legroom on their long haul flights, the planes don't feel as full, and I've never had an issue with overhead space for carry ons. But it could be a nice little perk. And because there likely wouldn't be that many card holders on any given flight, it doesn't seem like offering priority check in or boarding would get out of hand like it sometimes can in the US. But the absolute best benefit I can think of for this card, at least the best benefit that's within reason, would be to have your miles not expire as long as you hold the card. Many other programs do this, tons of them in fact, but there are still some airlines out there that have hard expiration dates on their miles. I'm looking at you, Singapore Air. If I could hold this card and know my miles would never expire, well, that would be interesting. This is a benefit that ANA offers to their million milers and Diamond service members. So, even though this seems like a reasonable benefit for members of US frequent flyer programs, my hunch is that this is a long shot. So, just to bring this full circle, as much as I love ANA as an airline, I'm not too crazy about their latest credit card offering. At least not yet. And although I can find several reasons why I'd like to earn more ANA miles, for now I think I'll stick with my Amex cards and use ANA as a transfer partner when I need more miles. This card hasn't been released yet, and I hope it will be tweaked in the coming months, but that remains to be seen. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and check out the suggested content in the description below. And this really helps us out, and we thank you for watching.